this does not bode well for this current 2-week lockdown. Go around licking door handles. That's crazy. I don't think we're gonna shut down again. Pretty convinced it's a money-making scam. Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I am Yvette and I moved to the UK 3 years ago, rounding up. And in this video, I wanted to address the elephant in the room, I guess, and I'm not even sure if this video is going to even be monetized, judging by how the internet is these days. But a question I get a lot of the time is, what is the UK like at the moment in terms of the pandemic, and would you recommend moving to London? So I understand the apprehension around moving abroad in these circumstances. Definitely, like, it makes complete sense where people are reaching out and questioning, is it a good idea? What's it like on the ground? Is there jobs? Is everything about to close again? What's open? Etc. So I thought I'd make a video and address that from my experience, what I've seen, and yeah, and what I think is going to happen, which is a bit of crystal ball predicting, but we will see. But yeah, so we will get into it. So I guess what's it like in the UK? I'll go via every devolved nation because they're all slightly different because they make their own rules up. So England and London, which is the one everyone asks most for, basically I would say back to normal. There's no mandates for anything. We don't have passports, which I kind of wish we did, to be honest, not to start a fight. But if you don't want a passport, you're in luck because the government's not doing it. So what that means, the fact that we have schools have gone back to school, good, groundbreaking. Schools have gone back to face-to-face teaching. That's number one. Universities, I think they're about to go back as well. If not, they have already gone back. Restaurants are open. The entertainment sector, so bars, restaurants, theatre, they're all open. As far as I can remember, everything's back to normal, COVID normal. So hopefully that fills you with some confidence that you're not just moving to a city to be locked down in, because I know that was the reality for a lot of people. I know there have been a lot of labour shortages because of Brexit, because a lot of the labour, particularly like cheaper labour, would come from mainland Europe, which obviously no travel of people anymore. So what that means for you, if you're planning on moving to London or to the UK, is that there's a lot of jobs that you can do if you're trying to do it as like part-time while you're travelling or while you're going to university or anything else. So like, I know lorry drivers, if you have a licence, many a job for those. I know we do currently have some food shortages. That's what they report on the news. Personally, I haven't experienced that, but might be different where you are. Now I will say for Scotland, they are having a passport and I think they're back to opening normal. They do have a mask mandate. We don't have a mask mandate in England. However, in my experience, 80% of people still wear it. So I still wear a mask anyway, just because, to be honest, in winter it keeps my face warm. So I'm okay with it. I've gotten used to it up at this point. I bought some silk masks. My biggest recommendation is get some silk masks. Better for the skin and they breathe, like they don't stick to your face. But make sure they're double layered because otherwise they won't work. And if you get a filter in, even better. So 80% of people in the stores wear them in my experience, but that will vary area to area, some more, some less. It is rule on public transport to wear a mask, and then some businesses will enforce it, but there's no law from the government wearing it. And then Wales, it's the same as Scotland. I think they're doing the passports as well. I think they've just rolled that out. However, the news just changed by the minute, so it wouldn't surprise me if by the time I make this video, all the rules have changed again. And then Northern Ireland is still kind of where we were in lockdown, because I was just travelling around there, and it was like before Freedom Day, just before Freedom Day. So clubs I think aren't open there, but I wasn't going clubbing, so it didn't affect me. But if you are going to Northern Ireland, do check. I don't know the ins and outs of that one, unfortunately. In general, Scotland and Wales seem to be slightly stricter than England, and London definitely has the highest employment opportunities, shall we say, because there's lots of wait staff needed, because a lot of people went home whether from the pandemic or Brexit. So yeah, so definitely don't worry about that. Next one is rent. I haven't looked at spare rooms, so I know room shares, which are I do recommend those as like very cost effective, no pressure way of getting a roof over your head. However, I do know the rental market in London for renters is very good at the moment. So you could get some really good deals because not many people are going back to work in the office yet, but people are coming in for entertainment reasons. So the economy's back-ish, but the flats and that are still relatively empty. So you could get like, I think up to 20% discount compared to pre-pandemic levels, which is very good. So you can stay in a bit of a nice area, a bit of a nicer flat, and yeah. And then the other question I get a lot is around testing requirements, etc. If you want to go traveling, which often people do, to get into the UK at the moment, as of October 1st, it will change. I'm going to say those in a moment. At the moment, you need you need a lateral flow to board a flight to the United Kingdom, and then once you land, you have to do a day 2 and a day 8, depending if you're from a green or an amber country. Amber is both, green is just day 2. PCR test, you can buy them online. They're extortion, and I'm pretty convinced it's a money-making scam, but we'll see. And that's really the only things. If you're double jabbed, you don't have to isolate. If you're unvaccinated, you have to isolate. Now, as of October 1st, there will be one list. It's the good and the bad list. If you come from the good list and you're vaccinated, you just need a lateral flow, and that's all, which is the cheaper one. And that's on day 2. So you don't need, it's a bit confusing. God, this is so confusing. So you can board a plane without a test. And then when you get here, you do your lateral flow. And then if you're positive, you do a PCR, but that's only if. If you're unvaccinated, you have to do PCRs, which are a bit more costly, but it's still doable, so don't let that necessarily stop you. But it's good to keep in mind. They are quite strict on it. Border security is on a power trip. And yeah, and if you're going to Ireland from the UK, you don't need anything, which is amazing if you're double jabbed. And yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. If you ask me, knowing what I know, would I move to the UK? The answer is yes. I don't think we're going to shut down again. Maybe that's false hope. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments that I'm wrong. I think at this point students have gone back and it hasn't gone crazy. We're still getting a lot of cases, but it's very steady, which is okay. So hopefully the NHS can cope over winter and we'll be in the clear. The other factor is that we had a furlough scheme where the government was funding people who were unable to work due to the pandemic. That scheme is coming to an end on September 30th. And that to me is the biggest indicator that we're not going into another lockdown, because the government doesn't want to pay for it. You can make your opinion up on if that's the correct decision or not, but I'm just telling you how to interpret policy and what their actions actually mean. I think they might say some mask wearing and they might say work from home if you can, but I don't think they're going to shut down like they did. There might be some more measures, but I don't think it'll overall affect job prospects just because the furlough scheme is not on anymore. And I don't think they could justifiably shut down without a furlough scheme. That was always my indicator. So in January, when Rishi Sunak extended the furlough scheme from March to September, I was like, this does not bode well for this current 2-week lockdown. So he's been extending it for the last 18 months. So nice indication. And there is lots of events happening in this Christmas time that I have already booked tickets for. I tend to book tickets for things and just hope for the best and expect them to be cancelled. I booked Hamilton 4 times, but I did get there eventually. So this time last year they were cancelling Christmas events to give you a line in the sand. So Hyde Park Christmas Market is back, Winter Wonderland. Bath Christmas Market's back. I think Manchester Christmas Market's back. I think Manchester Christmas Market went ahead last year, although it shouldn't have, or something, or it was it was being very naughty. But anyway. While the pandemic isn't over, I don't want to say, go around licking door handles. That's crazy. I do think you can have some level of confidence. And if you come now, which is slightly just before COVID is necessarily, as you want to call it, over, I think you'll get some good deals. You'll have the pick of the jobs and you'll get a really good flat or accommodation wherever you choose. So I think now's actually quite a good time to come. You want to always kind of be ahead of the curve of everyone else. So, yeah. So hopefully that gives you some confidence if you're thinking of moving abroad. I know I've seen a lot of people watching my how to rent in London and moving to London videos, so I thought I'd put this one out for you guys. But yeah, If you found this video at all helpful, give it a thumbs up. Tell me in the comments below, do you think I'm wrong in that it's all going to lock down and it's doom and this is our life forever now? Because I do have the voice in my head that says that too. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.